Hello everyone and welcome back today for another video. Today we have the all-new Subaru Crosstrek Sport. Now this is a Sport and it has the bigger engine finally. It's a 2.5 liter naturally aspirated boxer 4-cylinder engine, and that means finally more horsepower on the Crosstrek, which is things people have been wanting for a while. Here's a sticker right here. As you can see, 2.5 liter naturally aspirated flat 4. This one sits in around $28,000. A little tiny bit of options, but it doesn't have all the options. As you can see, the screen's a little bit smaller. You do have some nice stuff like Eyesight and all that fun little features. Now, what else do you get with the Crosstrek Sport and all the other cool stuff? We're going to go check out how it drives real quick. I'm going to show you guys a little bit of the newer features that the Sport gives you. Let's do a quick little walk around before we take it on a short drive. Awesome. So, first up, we're going to start this off with the driving, because the whole point of this Sport version is kind of this bigger engine, because people wanted more power on the Crosstrek. The regular Crosstrek has a 2-liter flat 4 engine, which is, as my experience with our two Subarus that both have this similar engine, it's slow. It has like 150 horsepower compared to a CVT, not the best stuff. This one gets like 182 horsepower, so you do get a little bit of a boost in the power output, and it still has a CVT. This is a newer generation CVT. But let's go feel that power on the roads a little bit, because I think we all have been wanting to see what a more powerful Crosstrek is like. Now, of course, Subaru isn't doing anything too crazy, like no turbocharging or nothing like that. So if you want something like that, you're gonna have to go to a different competitor, obviously. But right now, what we have is this more power in the Crosstrek. And it's definitely gonna give you a little bit more of an oomph on your daily driving characteristics, for sure. And let's just get out of this parking lot real quick. And so hopefully right now, auto stop start, I'm gonna turn that off. So this one does have auto stop start, as most new vehicles do these days. And I'm not the biggest fan of auto stop start. It's kind of annoying, but of course it is gonna help you save fuel economy. Check out that 718 Spyder right there, awesome. Cool license plate too. Anyway, give me that boxer lineage going on over here. But yeah, so anyway, so like these new Subarus, we've driven the new Forester Sport, I've driven the new Impreza, and they're all based on the same platform. So Subaru's Global Platform, it's stiffer, it's more rigid than before, it's a little bit more robust and all that stuff. But the big thing, again, like I said before, is the new engine in this one, because the biggest complaint of all things is having more power in the Crosstrek, because it's a little bit of a bigger vehicle. Even though it's the same size as the lower Impreza, customers did kind of want to use this more as kind of like a more family hauler, because in everyone's minds in the US these days, people like the whole idea of lifted up hatchbacks, which are really just crossovers, or call them SUVs and stuff, and all that type of thing. As you can see right now, it has a lane departure warning as it is beeping at me. This all, like I said, has the Eyesight cameras up here, so you can do things like lane departure warning. There is, of course, the radar or kind of periscopic cruise control, which is nice on the highway. Kind of works like Tesla's like autopilot style system, if you want to think of it like that. Let's just get over real quick. Really cool. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I want to test out mainly on this car the kind of new acceleration and the feel for this engine, as I'm super used to the 150-ish horsepower that you can find in the current Crosstrek, as well as the Impreza, and as well as the older generation Impreza and Crosstrek. They kind of had a similar 2-liter flat 4 engine. But in generally with these new vehicles from Subaru, they have been super really nice to drive. Very comfortable, very isolated, and very kind of relaxed on the interior and everything. What is going on over here? So those have been my really main highlights of Subaru's newer vehicles. But one thing that we have kind of like reduced or kind of lost is steering feel. My Subaru, we have the Impreza and of course the Crosstrek. The steering feel is way better in those earlier generations of that platform. Now, of course, we're moved to the newer platform, the Subaru Global Platform and whatnot. And as you can see, the steering's way lighter. I kind of feel like I don't know what the wheels are doing anymore. It's a little bit of annoying, actually. And that wasn't like that, or isn't like that on the current ones that we have right now, the 2013 and 14. I guess just kind of, it's there for an ease of use style situation, but that is how it is on those vehicles. Ford being towed over there. Fix or break daily, guys. But yeah, so let's go test out this new power on this Crosstrek real quick. Hopefully we'll get through this light. While we're at the light, I'll just go through some of the features. So pretty basic climate controls and whatnot. All the buttons and everything on these newer Subarus. Again, if you've seen my earlier videos on newer Subaru products, they're all pretty solid and really good. Of course, we have keyless access on this one. So we have the big giant Subaru key fobs, nice metal trim on the sides, and they're really nice. They're kind of big in your pocket though. Other than that, they're pretty nice. Keys. We do have heated front seats. Now these these buttons on the heated seats have been in Subarus for like 20 years at this point, but they're still here and they work pretty well. So we do have heated front seats, high and low. We do have the Subaru X mode function, like I mentioned earlier before. This function basically is kind of like your drive modes for your traction control systems, all that. So if you press the buttons, it's going to change to deep snow or deep snow, mud and dirt and all that stuff over there. Ooh. And it's going to adjust different things like your stability control. It's going to adjust where the power is sent throughout the vehicle and all that stuff. Let's change lanes right quick. And of course, over here on the steering wheel, you do have S and I. Now that's your SI drive, or kind of like Sport Intelligent Drive or Sport Sharp Drive. Depending on what vehicle you have, it's going to change. It could be Sport. It could be like a hashtag meaning Sharp, Sport Sharp. I'm going to go over here. And basically all that does is it really just changes the throttle mapping, as well as kind of changes the CVT shifting performance and kind of gear selecting performance. And that's pretty much it, what it does with that. I'll demonstrate that to you guys real quick when we get onto the highway. Find it safe moment to get over. Awesome. A lot of traffic today, guys, my apologies. But as you can see real quick, as we come to this stop, if I press the S button, it goes right into sport mode. As you can kind of see, sport and intelligent. It's kind of like an intelligent mode. And really all it does is it kind of, you can demonstrate by this little curve on the dashboard. It kind of just increases the responsiveness of the throttle, so it makes everything a little more on edge kind of type of feeling. But I guess that would be a little more helpful if there's a little bit more power on the engine. But other than that, it's nothing too special in that setting. Of course, you have these buttons on your steering wheel that change the different menus in your center display, which is nice. And to adjust that kind of multifunction display up there, I believe you can change that through your yeah, we go. You can press the info button on your steering wheel and that'll change what you can see up there. So you have your fuel and pretty much all that stuff. This is more of a basic display for Subarus. It gets a little bit more advanced if you get higher packages where kind of it's full digital and it goes through a whole bunch of different dynamic displays, which I really like. This one's in a much more basic option for that one. So now let's test out some merging onto the highway performance here. We do have a metered light at this highway, so I guess we can kind of get like a little bit of a test of that. And of course, this has a manual mode. Now this has, I think, 7 or 8 simulated gear shifts. You can pop it into manual mode like that, or you can just automatically pop through the gear selectors with the paddle shifters on the steering wheel. And I'll show you guys in the sport mode. We'll go into sport sharp setting right now. Stop right here. Let's test this out. That boxer engine come to life. Merge over. Oh, come on, guy. Well, as you can see, it definitely, I can feel it right now. There's definitely a little bit more pep to this engine. This is the same engine that's pretty much in the Subaru Forester and the entry-level versions of the Subaru Legacy and Outback. Oh, very nice ride over these bumps. Really, really nice. Okay, yeah, this is definitely much more improved than our current Subarus, at least on the ride front. Way more, it feels more rigid, and the suspension does a much better job at isolating a lot of those bumps. We just went over a really pretty rough patch of pavement. But already I do feel there is that little bit of boost of power. Like when you put your foot on the throttle pedal, you do feel a little bit more secure in being able to pass like a truck or another vehicle on the highway or something. Before, it was a little bit sketchy in that, actually. I felt like I really needed to give myself some space to kind of catch up to traffic, or even merging on a highway. It felt a little bit dangerous to me, even on our current vehicles, because there's such little power. And when you fill that vehicle up with maybe 4 or 5 people, if you have cargo in the back, it's really weighted down. It does feel a little bit hampered by that smaller engine and the less power. Let's just test this real quick again. Yeah, definitely is a much stronger engine in this Subaru. Definitely a stronger engine. and I think that's going to appeal to a lot more people. And of course, you can get this engine with a higher trim package on the interior, so that'll allow you to have much more features and whatnot if you want more of that stuff, like a bigger screen. This one still, of course, does have Apple CarPlay, I believe Android Auto as well, and it does have Subaru's Starlink system, which is kind of their own built-in kind of like apps and whatnot if you want to use that. The spray is it's not too big, it's not too small, it's very responsive, which is nice. The other one is, of course, bigger. It takes up this entire space over here. Let's just get over. I'll take you guys to our viewing spot. We'll take a little bit more of a look at this vehicle. Now, it is unfortunate that the steering feel has kind of dimmed down a significant amount compared to our current Subarus. I did find them actually kind of fun to drive a little bit. The steering, unfortunately, has gone a little bit numb, but that seems to be the trend of the industry: over boosted, over power steering kind of motors. And hopefully no more people adopt Infinity's direct adaptive steering, because that's kind of scary. There's actually nothing really connecting the steering wheel to the front wheels. Anyway, enough rambling. Overall, pretty impressed with this vehicle. And, you know, for $28,000, you know, I wish there was a little bit more. I feel like they could have thrown in that bigger display. Yes, you are getting the bigger engine that's found in like the Forester and the other vehicles, but it would have been nice to have a little bit of a bigger display, even just for getting the sport option. But that is going to tack on like probably $2,000 or $3,000 more if you want that nicer option for that screen and a few other features. This one does come, as it is for $28,000, with a lot. Yes, like it's a little bit of a smaller screen, but you do get Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. You do get the steering assist, lane keep assist. You get rear cross traffic alert. You get your Eyesight system for that radar style cruise control. There's a lot of features for $28,000. You get this like kind of leather-ish material seats. I don't think it's leather. It feels like they're Subaru's active material, which is kind of like a fake leather, it feels to me. The steering wheel, I believe, is a leather wrap steering wheel with this nice yellow stitching, like I mentioned before. So that is nice. But it is a pretty nice vehicle. Now, even you don't get, I'm going to show you guys in a second, you don't even get like LED headlights or like regular halogen style and high intensity beam headlights. Taillights are LEDs though. Let's just park up over here. I'll give you guys a little bit of a tour of this vehicle. Awesome. Of course, we do have a rear parking camera as well, which I'll show you guys real quick. Pretty small. The resolution isn't too bad. You do have trajectory, which is just nice. No parking sensors, unfortunately, so you're gonna have to deal with that if you are reliant on parking sensors. Pretty basic backup camera, nothing too crazy there. Park it up. Awesome. I'm gonna turn on the lights so I can kind of give you guys an idea of what you're looking at out there. Let's go take a look on the outside of this Crosstrek. Okay, everyone, so we're on the outside of this Crosstrek Sport over here. And as we can see, as it is a sport model, we do get these kind of more sporty wheels. I believe these are pretty small wheels. I do like this kind of graphite kind of finish on them with this Y-spoke design. Really nice stuff. Coming around to the front, like I mentioned before, no LED lights going on over here. We're pretty much with a basic style light design. Now this is based on the updated Subaru Crosstrek, of course, so we do get a different kind of bumper and grille design going on over here. But these lights are pretty basic. I wish there was LEDs. If you do upgrade to a higher end specification, this entire beam becomes an LED light, and you do get LED beams going on in there. We do have fog lights down here. There's a lot of black plastic cladding, as you can see, going on in the lower area. Now, of course, this would be a little bit more apparent if you get a brighter color, but this is an all black version and you can't really see the cladding too much. There's also cladding on the side sills as well as going across the entire side of the vehicle up into the rear. This one also has the body side molding going across as well. And of course, this one doesn't have it, but you can get a pretty small kind of moon roof going on up there. I do like the Crosstrek. I think it looks pretty good, but I definitely like it more with the better headlights and whatnot. Coming around the front, like I said before, pretty much a nice going on design. I do like this new little grille design. It has a little bit more of an actual design going on to the vehicle instead of being so plain. And then coming around to the rear real quick, we have, I believe these are LED taillights, but let's check this out. I believe they might be full LEDs on the higher end models. I do like how they kind of blacked out these center pieces from the factory now. I think it looks a little bit more aggressive or whatnot. And we do have this new sport badge going on here, of course, with that kind of weird lime orangey green font going on there. Pretty cool. And all the other badges are all blacked out. Here's the rear of the vehicle. Nothing too different here on this updated version. Now coming around to the trunk, pop this open. No power trunk stuff going on here, or locking or anything, but the space hasn't changed too much in the Crosstreks. Pretty decent amount of space. You'd be surprised how much stuff you can fit back here. It's a decent amount of daily cargo space. I do like how we have this net going on here. There's a lot of different accessories you can attach. Of course, you have a cargo cover up here, some lights, and that's it. And there is a rubber floor mat on the bottom. I believe this one does have a spare as well underneath here. I'm gonna try to get that up. Let's go check that out. Yeah, we do have a spare underneath here, which is nice. A lot of new vehicles are not coming with spares, unfortunately, so that's a nice feature to have. If you're trying to lift some stuff in it, it's a little bit high off the ground. It's a little bit of a lip, but you should be fine generally. If you do want something like a power tailgate, you're gonna have to step up to a higher end Forester, the larger Subaru, if you want to get something like that. Close that up real quick. Now let's go take a look in the rear of the Crosstrek to give you guys an idea of the rear seat room. Nothing too much has changed in the rear seat room of the Crosstrek as well, since it is just a kind of a facelifted version of it. Same stuff going on the door panels with this kind of like perforated material. Really nice feeling. Feels very durable. Hopping in real quick. Let's hop in. Awesome. Solid bunk with the newer Subaru platform. Really nice stuff. Legroom and headroom in the Crosstrek is pretty good. It hasn't really been bad, but it is, like I said, on the smaller vehicle size. If you want more room, you're gonna have to go into a Forester or an Outback or something. This is pretty much in a typical driving position, I would say. I have a lot of footroom actually. Legroom is not too bad, and you do have these kind of built-in storage packs in the back. Let me go hop over to the other side, the driver's side. This is my driving position. I actually have a little bit more legroom, just how I sit. Way more legroom, actually. I'm 6'1" as well, so if you guys want to have a little bit of a reference, that's that. I fit pretty well back here. I think it's nice. There's no kind of amenities going on, unfortunately, so there's no like charging ports, there's no AC outlets. Again, you're gonna have to step up in a Subaru lineup to get that. There's a little bit of a driving hump for the drive line for the all-wheel drive system, so you have to deal with that as well. I believe you can get all-weather floor mats, but this one has the regular carpets with the stitching on it. I think it's kind of nice to touch as well. And there is no pouch in the back of the driver's seat. It's only on the passenger seat. So if you want both of those, you have to look elsewhere. Headroom wise, this is actually pretty good. I'm gonna do a little bit of measurement. I'll show you guys. I'm gonna sit back in the seat. I have about this much of headroom in between my fingers. That's actually a lot of headroom. And like I said before, this one does not have the moonroof, which would come right here, and that would kind of eat up a little tiny bit of room, I think. Nothing too bad, but generally it's not too bad with headroom. And visibility in Subarus has always been one of their pride hallmarks. Nice big windows back here. The seat pillar is a little bit thick, but the rear window is huge, and you do have a lot of visibility over there, and the rest of the windows in the Subaru are massive. I always call it a fishbowl because you always have so much visibility in Subarus, one of their kind of pride things. And you do have a frameless style, almost frameless rear view mirror going on there with compass integration and of course automatic dimming as well, which is a nice feature to have. Other than that, this is, like I said before, we've lived with a Crosstrek for almost 10 years now, and it's been a great daily vehicle. And it's also been a decent family hauler for kind of longer trips and whatnot, which is, you would think is pretty weird because the vehicle's kind of small on the smaller side, but Subaru kind of blew up this whole segment coming out with these Crosstrek back in like 2013. Now we have everything from the Mazda CX-30, competitors across all ranges, the Honda HR-V and whatnot. It's a huge segment now, and it's still growing, which is kind of crazy. But overall, I think this is a pretty decent vehicle for this price, and that upgraded engine. Let's go take a look at that engine real quick. I think is a very nice option if you're looking for something with a little bit more power in it too. So to unlock the engine, I'm gonna pop the hood real quick. And the only reason I'm really showing you guys the engine on this one is to kind of give you an idea that it really has. Oh, it has a prop rod. I'm gonna have to hold this up for a second. But here's that larger 2.5 liter Boxer 4-cylinder engine. I can see Subaru's added a lot more engine isolation mounts in here, or some foam to kind of keep the noise down. So that means they're working on that reliability, not reliability, mostly NVH improvements, which is noise, vibrations, and harshness. Pretty typical stuff. I do like how Subaru puts the oil filter right up here, which is nice. a lot of easy access to get to a lot of things in this engine, which is amazing because sometimes you might have issues, sometimes it might be really good. But generally, this is the engine, and of course, the 2-liter is a little bit smaller than this. Close that up. I would, guys, show you guys the exhaust sound, but it really doesn't sound any different than this the regular Crosstrek. But I've seen people put some crazy exhaust on these, believe it or not, and they sound kind of cool. You can kind of hear that boxer rumble going on in there, which is really nice. But so some final impressions. So what do I think? I think, like I said, this engine is a really nice upgrade. I think if you're coming from an original Crosstrek, or you just want a little bit more power in your Crosstrek and you really love this platform, I'd say go for this one. This is a pretty decent specification. Like I said, $28,000. You can get more. You can get the nicer headlights. You can get the moonroof. You can get a little bit more stuff on the interior. But I think this is a great daily, a decent hauler, and the fuel economy is okay. Let me just double check on that real quick before I incriminate myself on our fuel economy measures. The fuel economy is not the worst, but it's also not the best. Up to 29 mpg, 2734 on the highway. So I would say you're probably going to get 3 miles per gallon less than all these numbers from my personal experience with Subarus. So it's still not bad for a 2.5-liter engine, naturally aspirated, all-wheel drive, and this size of vehicle. Compared to other products that are front-wheel drive based, maybe have a hybrid system thrown on, and they still can't match these fuel economy numbers. That's pretty good. And of course, Subarus are usually pretty dependable and whatnot, as their slogans always go. But again, thank you guys for watching this video, and a huge shout out to Subaru of White Plains, of the part of the Premier Collection, for letting us come check out this new Crosstrek Sport and the rest of their vehicles, which are really nice. If you guys are looking for a new Subaru, Volvo, Alfa Romeo, Lincoln, and a whole bunch of other dealerships, even Mazda, check out the Premier Collection over in Westchester, New York, as well as over in Rockland County as well. They have their Mazda dealership over there, and there's some pretty good deals going on right now, as well as a lot of other nice inventory. And again, guys, thank you guys for watching these videos, and stay tuned for a lot more stuff coming soon.